Phil, was this the most dominant World Cup runs we've seen of all time, in your opinion?
It's one of them, and it comes off the back of a very, very dominant Euros run as well for Spain. So the last two competitions, Spain have just clearly been the best side. They've beaten the best teams, and they've left everyone in really no doubt that they're the best side in the tournament. So I think in terms of the World Cup, obviously I'm old, Hannah, but I'm not that old, so I haven't seen as many as I would have liked. But in terms of in my lifetime, and in terms of sort of really worthy winners, but playing the right way and beating the big teams as well comfortably, I think, this is right up there, yeah.
Phil, there's a sense of deja vu, I think, with the Spanish national team. You go back to the previous dynasty that they had of win the Euros in 2008, win a World Cup, and then it leads to another successful run in the next major tournament. Can this Spanish national team get even better? Because it seems like the football they're playing right now, it's a zenith.
Yeah, no, it can absolutely get better, because the idea is there, the ideology is there, and the personnel is there as well. Like, there is such a tremendous crop of players who are coming through, who are still incredibly young, who haven't hit their peak anywhere near yet. If you look at the squad, you look at the ages, there we go, right on your screen there. Some very young players there, some players that are going to be hitting their prime, their peak in 4 years' time, let alone in 2 years' time at the Euros. Some players that didn't even come to the tournament, like Fermin Lopez could have been so useful, the Barcelona midfield winger. Even Victor Munoz, who came to this tournament, but he was injured, didn't even play. He's only 23 as well. He can be very, very good going forward. Big move to the Premier League for him as well. So there's so many players. Forget about the 11 that are just extraordinary. Everyone that surrounds that team has got tremendous ability and tremendous understanding of how they need to play in the system. So it's looking very good for Spain, and might I say a little bit ominous for everyone else as well. Given this long run without defeat, with a little asterisk, because they did lose on penalties to Portugal in the final of the Nations League last year. But we don't need to mention that. It's been a long run without defeat, and I think it's going to get longer.
So, Phil, talk to me about this angle, because Lionel Scaloni he did the ride or die with the guys that helped him win the 2022 World Cup. Do you see something similar from Luis de la Fuente? Because Rodri will be 34, you have Oyarzabal will be 33, Moreno 34, Fabian Ruiz will be 34, Laporte will be 36 in 2030. Or do you think he'll continue to go with the younger players and trust them?
So yes and no. He's very, very clear. He's like, yeah, these are my guys. I back these guys 100%. But then he's not afraid. He is not afraid to drop players and to not use them and to bring in other players, even the ones that were supposed to be his guys. I said the example before the break of Robin Lenormand. Robin Lenormand was his guy. He was literally the most used player by De La Fuente in his tenure as Spain manager, and he dropped him. I was like, sorry, you've not been good enough this season. I know you've had injuries, you haven't come back, and you're getting dropped, and you're not coming to the World Cup. And instead, I'm bringing in a teenager, he's going to take your place, and he's going to be absolutely brilliant. He dropped Pedri. He didn't think twice about not bringing Alvaro Morata. He didn't bring Dani Carvajal. These are big calls, and he is not afraid to make them. That said, he's also very, very good at engendering this feeling of family, of belief, of squad unity, brotherhood, all that. So he's very, very shrewd operator on those two levels, and I think that's going to serve Spain in great stead.
So, Phil, you're saying by 2030, Spain could look even better, which is quite scary. But look, enough Spain chat now. What are some of your storylines going into the 2030 World Cup?
So for me, my storyline that I picked out was Jude Bellingham leading England, a 27-year-old Jude Bellingham coming off the back of, several successful years at Real Madrid and going into his prime, his peak. He's going to be 27, his peak, and him being the undisputed leader of England at the World Cup. Because, in England, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Certain people, there were articles written that should Jude Bellingham even go to the World Cup? Well, in 4 years' time, there's going to be none of this nonsense. Everybody's going to be 100% behind Jude and understanding that the team almost has to be built around him, because I don't think Harry Kane is, if he's not going to be in the team, he's certainly not going to have as a focal point as he previously had. There aren't that many strikers, English strikers coming through. Not going to be many English strikers under the age of 30 when the time the World Cup comes around. So it's all going to be about Jude. He's going to be the main man, and there's going to be even more pressure on those broad, muscular shoulders. But he can take it. I'm absolutely convinced that he can take the pressure, and he will be England's leader at the next World Cup.
Phil, I know I said enough Spain chat, but this is a question kind of regarding them. If England did get to the final and were facing up against Spain, how do you think that would have gone?
It went pretty well for Spain 2 years ago, so I mean, it'd probably be in a repeat of that. I mean, I think they would have given them more of a game than Argentina would. Let's put it like that. We were just sort of shocked and disappointed at how little Argentina actually played football. And England would not have done that. It would have been closer. It would have been more of a spectacle. Ultimately, Spain, I think, would have won. But yeah, England would have made it a more of a footballing final.
OK, so Phil, you're looking at Jude Bellingham these next 4 years. Jimmy, what are you looking for?
Yeah, so I'm looking for, and I'm going to use Jude as an example, but life after Messi and Ronaldo, right? Like, what happens now? There's already been a shift. Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, Lamine Yamal to a certain extent, and Jude now, I feel like, have stepped up and said, hey, we can handle the spotlight. We can score goals in big moments. But I feel like there's still another generation that's going to be popping through. We might not know these names, but I think we probably do. And who's going to step up and be those types of players? I'm thinking about Yan Diomande, Amad Diallo could be one, Florian Wirtz, Jamal Musiala. Like, we know the names, but are they going to step up and really hit that next level? And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing, is who are the next superstars that are going to potentially populate alongside Haaland and Mbappe and some of the other ones. There's a couple Spanish players we could name. We've talked about them. And there's some French players we can name. I think Ousmane Dembele, him coming out of kind of nowhere to win the Ballon d'Or, was a really pleasant surprise and a great story. And so I'm kind of curious to see if we'll have another of those players. Do you think it might be Kvaratskhelia? Could be somebody that pops up if Georgia can make the World Cup in 2030. If we go to 64 teams, it's more than possible. If he has a big splash at the Euros, right, then obviously he's continuing to build his reputation, and if PSG continues to win Champions League titles. So, yeah, it's I'm just excited to see what the world looks like, but also a little sad and nostalgic, because those guys have been so prominent in our lives for so long and made so many big plays and scored so many big goals. I'm kind of bittersweet about the whole thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think football has a way of gifting us gems and gifts and talents that we never dreamt of. I remember that we had an era before your Lionel Messi's and Cristiano Ronaldo's, where you had the original Ronaldo, Zinedine Zidane, you had Cannavaro, Nesta, Paolo Maldini, right? I remember growing up with these names and thinking, man, these guys are getting older. Like, who am I going to watch? And then we get those two global superstars. My big storyline that I'm looking forward to this next World Cup, I really do think that we are entering the Lamine Yamal era of football. I really do think that. And don't be fooled by my tears. I got some of you, by the way. I got you, Phil.
Well,
no.
I was crying real tears when I saw your tears.
No, but I really do think we're entering the Lamine Yamal era.
Do you not think we're already in that era?
No, not fully yet. Yes, at the international level, we're seeing it. Yes, with Barcelona, we see so many moments. But I think that we're going to see Lamine Yamal capture football in ways that we haven't seen since maybe a Lionel Messi. And I'm not saying Lamine Yamal is
given what
Messi,
he's already accomplished.
But look at what he's accomplished. He's not the youngest ever World Cup winner, but he is the youngest player to win both the European Championship and the World Cup. He's 19 years old. And an underwhelming tournament for him is what we saw, and he was still giving defenders fits. And let's not forget that he came into this tournament with this massive injury. That it was delayed. He was delayed, right? The pubis injury. And we see that he still has quality when he's not even 100%. So I'm terrified for opposing defenders. I'm terrified for opposing fullbacks, because Lamine Yamal is already a Ballon d'Or candidate. He's already going to be one of the favorites to win the Ballon d'Or. I do agree with that, Phil. I'm terrified to think of what else is there to achieve, because when you look at what Spain's going to have, the players you put down, the age of a Pedri, who is going to be, 27 at the next World Cup, Pau Cubarsí coming as well, but also what Barcelona could do if they get Julian Alvarez. Watch out, because the Champions League is up for grabs, and I wouldn't be surprised if he adds another World Cup or European Championship along the way between now and 2030.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount Plus.